know what make this different is they ain't never seen this Cam. They ain't never seen him. You wanna know how I know? I ain't never seen him. The forgotten Cam, the shit on Cam, tired of being sick of tired Cam. Felt like I was just left to die.
Oh, there's nothing better than an athlete with a major chip on his shoulder. Greg McElroy is here, but Swagoo, I start with you. When you hear that from Cam Newton, what do you think?
Gee, I bow down to the hate. I bow down to the greatness, man. Like, when you think about Cam, we've seen Cam be great before. And the fact that he's motivated like this, I'm watching these videos. First of all, this ain't the first video that Cam done put out that made me almost think about coming out of retirement. But him talking about it, I think it's what we've known about all athletes. We all hear the noise. As much as we try to say we don't, and we don't care about it, and it doesn't motivate us, it doesn't push us because we're in those moments at times. This is the prime example of we really do hear the noise. They hear the noise now that I'm not playing anymore. Cam got me hyped, man, and I truly believe him. And the reason I believe him, G, is because when you think about this marriage between him and Bill Belichick, it ain't nothing but a redemption tour. That's all it is for Cam Newton. And what better coach, what better situation to go to than to go play for Bill Belichick and revive your career and maybe move on? Greg and I have seen this, G-Mac, Greg McElroy. We've seen this done by coaches going to Alabama to coach for Nick Saban, to have a revival in their career, to move on to have more success. I believe this is what Cam is doing, and I believe Cam going to have a great season this year, and he'll make us remember who he is.
Greg, I haven't had a chance to ask you. What do you think of the marriage of Belichick and McDaniels with Cam? Do you expect him to be the starting quarterback there? Do you expect him to play big?
I expect him to start, Greeny. I do. The marriage is one that is probably going to be a little confusing at first because I just don't see this mixing well. It's oil and water. Cam, very outspoken. Bill Belichick, the antithesis of that. And I think Josh McDaniels will formulate an offensive identity around Cam's skill set. Now, Cam's skill set is not what it was in 2015. You can't have multiple throwing arm injuries. You can't injure your foot. You can't take the hits that he's taken over the last 5 years and expect him to look like his MVP self. But like Swagoo, I genuinely am bullish on what he might do this year because you give a talented player like Cam Newton, who's ridiculously talented, no one's arguing that. You give a talented player a chip and a reason to be motivated, great things can often come of that, especially with an incentivized deal. So I'm bullish on Cam and the Patriots this year.
I'm told Adam Schefter has some thoughts here as well. What do you have, Shefty?
You know, Green, we were talking before about Dak Prescott and Dallas's struggles to sign him to a long-term deal and him being on the franchise tag this year for $31.4 million. Keep this in mind. The Patriots this year are paying Cam Newton and Brian Hoyer and Jarrett Stidham a combined $2.775 million in base salary. They have those three quarterbacks under contract for this season at a significantly lower number than the Dallas Cowboys are fighting to keep Dak Prescott for. And it shows you how the Patriots are adapting in a post-Tom Brady world now, diverting their resources to three different quarterbacks. May the best man win the job, and they can pay that quarterback going forward while the Dallas Cowboys are struggling to sign Dak Prescott long-term. He'll make $31.4 million this year. The Patriots will pay those three quarterbacks in base salary a combined $2.775 million.
It's really smart when you think about it. And Swagoo, I guess that's one of the ways that you wind up winning all those championships is just play it smart. There's no risk, right? They basically have zero downside on Cam financially or practically any other way. And the reward is so high, Marcus, that it's almost impossible to calculate it.
Yeah, and you think about the journey, G. Like, look, we all know that as long as something sits on the shelf, the value decreases. And who's better at doing that than Bill Belichick? Who's better at finding players that have been devalued in some sort of way and he brings them to New England, and they end up playing a big role in winning the Super Bowl. He's been doing this for years. He's going to do it with Cam.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.